Hey everybody, and welcome to Robin's house. Today we're working on the Cozy Up card making workshop. And one of the featured optional elements in this workshop is using your sponges to color these beautiful leaves to match your project. So I just wanted to quickly go over how I did this. So I kind of laid out my project, how it's going to look-ish on my card so that I know what I need to do. So I also have toffee, rosemary, honey butter, and paprika ink pads here next to me, and each one has its own sponge. You can see that toffee has a toff on it so that I use it for that color only. And then I'm gonna just take my sponge and color the bottom half of this leaf with my toffee. And then I'm gonna take my rosemary and I'm gonna cover just the edge, just like in this card, just to get some color on one part of the thing. And now I'm ready to go. I'm gonna do honey butter last, although there is some argument for doing a honey butter in the middle as well. But my point is that I'm gonna go through and get some color. I'm doing paprika now. And I'm gonna put more of it on this leaf than on that leaf, although it doesn't look like it. Oh, now I'm ready for the honey butter. So honey butter, it's gonna kind of go over everything and then whatever's left in the middle to be totally yellow, but kind of blending these inks together, and then you let them sit and then they just turn out so gorgeous. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this, but it is helpful to have a scratch piece of paper underneath your project so that you don't care what the ink comes on. And then we gotta get some yellow here. So that is just the basics of coloring your leaves, and now they're ready to put down on the card. And you've got kind of the oranges on the edges and the yellows going to the outside, and then your leaf in the middle. So that one's all good to go. Now there's another, so that was kind of one way of doing it. And then there's another option. For example, when you're cutting out your leaves, it is possible to do the sponging first and then cut out the leaf. I found it easier to just cut them all out, but they didn't look as nice. Because when you sponge, get a little better camera. So when you're like rosemary. So if I had my shape, let's see if I have an extra shape. I only have one extra shape, but I could do the other side. So you saw me before when I was coloring, kind of hitting the paper as I'm turning the thing so that it, because if you just bop it, you're going to end up with this speckled look that is cool in its place. And if that's the look you want, now that's kind of the point behind this, is when you're working with such a small shape and you feel like going up and down, your shape may not get colored quite how you want to. But you can alleviate that by just holding it down and rotating your thing as you go, so it's not quite so speckly. You can see there's a big difference, and I put about the same amount of ink on there. So you can also color your swatch first and then cut it out, and then it's a very solid layer. Or you could cut it out first and do it how we did. But either way will work just fine. So thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting.